Welcome back to the Ethan Clare podcast show. We have a great episode for you today. We have a legend in the Urbex community. I want to jump right in, but before we do, I need to talk about the new hotline, the Ethan Clare podcast show hotline. You can call at any time, 24/7, any day of the year, whenever you want. The number is 507-407-0346. Leave us a story, leave us a question, anything really, and we will maybe talk about it on the podcast. I'm not going to say for sure. We've already been getting messages, so we will jump into those next week because we have to get right into this episode with Bob, a legend, like I said, in the Urbex community. Let's jump right in. All right, we are joined here today by an Urbex legend, one of the top guys in the game. We've looked up to him for a long time. I think everybody in the community looks up to Bob here.
I'd agree, yeah.
We are here with Bob from Detroit Unseen, the Instagram page. He's on YouTube. He has a documentary called Abandoned Detroit, the City of Neglect, which has over 500,000 views on YouTube.
In what? A few weeks.
It was, yeah. How quickly, Bob? Great to have you here. How quickly did that get to 500K?
So it was 3 weeks.
Wow.
3 weeks, we had 500,000 views, yeah.
Unbelievable. Well, it's great to have you. And for people that don't know you, can you kind of describe how you got into urban exploring? Sure. Because the documentary tells the whole story, but for people that haven't seen that, kind of go into how you got into it.
Absolutely. Yeah, for people that haven't seen or have seen and need a reminder.
Yeah.
With that, right? So, like I say in the documentary, the reason I got started and how I got started urban exploring is actually a story in itself because of my life experiences and everything that I went through. I was a heroin addict, right? And when I was a heroin addict, I was homeless and in the streets of Detroit, and I was shooting heroin. And I was hanging out with a rough crowd at that time, obviously, and doing all sorts of hustling and things. So I was hanging out with this older man we called him OG. You know, he was an OG.
OG.
And he was a heroin addict like me, and him and I would hang out a lot, squat together because we were both homeless on the streets.
Yep.
And he took me into this building that to shoot dope and to kind of squat and get out of the elements because it was, I believe it was getting cold out. It was either fall or spring, but it was getting cold. So we went into the building, get out of the elements and to shoot dope. And that's when this OG told me, this used to be a concert venue. And I said, this basement? He said, no. He said, it's upstairs somewhere. And he said, I hadn't been there since it was open. And I said, well, do you think we could go find it or whatever? And he, eventually we went upstairs and there was a stage and the architectural details. And then he had told me, I think I read about it actually. I read about it online after that. Cause I don't think I was getting vague information,
Yeah.
It was like some famous musicians. But I think he misquoted and said like Jimi Hendrix played there, even though I don't think Jimi Hendrix played there.
Really? He didn't know.
Yeah, he was trying to make shit up.
Yeah.
But I ended up researching it, and that's how I found out it was the Grandy Ballroom. And indeed, these musicians had played there, such as Janis Joplin and The Who and Led Zeppelin and Ted Nugent and the MC5.
Wow.
I mean, just incredible, Eric Clapton. I mean, just amazing musicians that played at this venue. So I was like just floored by this, right? Because I'm a rock and roll fan. I mean, from Detroit, we are Detroit Rock City and all that. So we have a lot of history here with rock and roll and Motown. So growing up here, it was lots of music influence. So I thought that was just super fascinating. So I started to like research it, and look stuff up about it. And then that was, I can even tell you right off rip, that was probably 2005 or 6. Didn't even think much about it. I got clean shortly after that.
Wow.
And then what happened was my mom had just given me this cheap point. Actually, it wasn't really that cheap. It was a nice point and shoot, but it wasn't like a SLR or anything like that.
Yeah.
So I was in Detroit and I was taking photos of like just signs and street stuff and just messing around with it.
Is this film at the time, or is it a digital?
No, it was digital.
Okay.
Was
Didn't know for sure.
Yep, it was digital. And it was just one of the ones where you could like take the camera, plug it into your printer, and print pictures.
Oh yeah. You push the button and the lens comes out. Is it one of those?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly.
I totally know what you're talking about. Yeah, way back in the day. Yep.
Yeah. So I was like, okay, well, I'm going to take some photos with this camera, and I wasn't really even into photo. I mean, the only photos of me from that time was my mug shots.
Oh yeah.
So like literally, I didn't want to be on camera, and I didn't really think to take pictures. It just happened that she had given me this because she got a new one and was like, I don't need it anymore.
How old are you at this point?
I would have been 24 or 25. I got clean when I was 24. So I think it was the year I got clean or the year after I got clean.
Gotcha.
So I might have been 25.
I didn't know if you were still in like college or if you were young or if you were, a lot of people get into urbex now at a young age. But when you were doing it, was it sort of everyone was getting into it kind of older, or they were kind of an older crowd?
Yeah, definitely. When I started doing this, I would have been 25 then, and most of the people that were doing it were actually older than me.
In their 30s or so.
Exactly. Yep.
So you find or you're at this place with this guy, and is it something where you almost felt the energy of what used to go on there? You know what I mean?
At the time, not so much when I was with him, because that first time anyways, we actually went back twice, 2 or 3, even 3 times. Because that first day that he told me what it was, I don't think we went upstairs that time. I think it was actually the next time that we went upstairs.
Oh.
And that because we were squatting in the basement of this place. So when I wanted to see it, and I kind of, like I said, I was skeptical and I didn't believe it. So he was like, well, let me show you the state. So that's when we went upstairs, and that's when I ended up doing the research and finding it. And then when my mom gave me the camera, I drove by it and I saw that it was open, and I said, I need to go in there and I need to, it wasn't even about me filming the Grandy Ballroom or documenting the Grandy Ballroom. It was about me documenting my story as a heroin addict. That, just to show people this is where I used to squat.
Yeah.
But when I got in there, I did feel this energy, and I felt like I could see the dance floor and the stage, and I could picture like the music and the musicians and stuff. And like, then while I was in there, it's like I was remembering the articles that I had read about, and I had actually watched a documentary about the Grandy Ballroom. It's an incredible documentary, and some of the documentary and our documentary has clips from that documentary.
Yeah. I was wondering where you guys were getting a lot of the older footage. That's awesome.
Yep, that's from that Grandy Ballroom documentary.
Wow.
I can't remember the name of it, but it's a great documentary. So I went in there, and that's when I started it changed. So instead of me shooting like this basement where I was shooting heroin and squatting, I started shooting the architectural details of the theater or the ballroom. There was like stone owls, and there was amazing hand painted details. There were chandeliers in there at that time. The way it looked nothing like that.
Yeah.
Actually intact back then. So it was an incredible experience, and that's actually why I say that was my first urban exploration at that time, because of course I didn't know that's what I was doing then, but yeah, that's what I did. I documented the place, I took photos, and was really happy with the way it turned out. And when I went to research more about the Grandy Ballroom, I discovered Detroit Funk. There was a blog. He's still around, but he doesn't explore anymore. He wasn't really an explorer. He was more of a journalist. He would drive around the city, take photos of different areas, different neighborhoods, different buildings. And when he did the Grandy Ballroom, so I found the article of the Grandy Ballroom, and then it took me to the post that he had of that day or whatever, which was the rape of Jane Cooper. And that is the school on Detroit's east side that was on Van Dyke in Georgia. And that school had been ravaged by the scrappers and the vandals and the homeless and the curious and all that. So when I read that, I said, well, I want to take that camera and I actually want to go photograph Jane Cooper after I did the Grandy. So I went over to Jane Cooper and I photographed Jane Cooper. And then I went back to his blog and I found Joy Middle School and Brewer. And that's how it all started taking place.
We know how it goes from there. It's a you get in the rabbit hole and it's just never ending. I'm curious though, because we've interviewed quite a few explorers and I love to dive into the mind of why, because to other people that don't get into it, they're curious as to how and why we started. And they want to know, like, what was the thing that made you want to keep going back and risking, going to jail, risking getting injured for. What was that thing for you? Was it the history? Was it what you felt? Was it the photography? What was it for you that made you want to keep going with it?
That's a solid question. And I've been asked that before over the years. It definitely was not photography. I still don't even consider myself a great photographer.
You got some damn good pictures, though. You got some great work.
Thank you. But I feel like I'm an urban explorer before I'm a photographer. Like I would still be doing this if the camera was never invented.
Wow. Yeah.
I would still be doing this. I was doing this before Facebook and before Instagram and, all those things. So I think for me, it was actually the energy and the feeling of being inside these once grandiose structures that had all these people and this vibe at one time in its life, I guess, or in its existence. And in going in there, it's almost like a step back in time. And sometimes you can feel the energy and pick up on the energy and the vibe of those places and what they used to be like in its heyday. And what really, have you ever heard of the stone tape theory?
No, I haven't. No.
Okay, the stone tape theory is basically it's a theory where whatever happened within those walls of a structure or a building, the energy exists inside the walls.
Wow.
And a lot of paranormal people use the stone tape theory for things like that. So since it's its original structure, right? It's the original, like Grandy Ballroom.
Yeah.
The original structure, the original stage, the original dance floor, the original chandelier, all that stuff was still there. So it was there and experienced those great rock and roll shows.
Yeah.
So when you're in there, you almost become in tune with that.
Yep.
And your mind and your body becomes one with the building. And you can kind of really absorb that energy.
I really get that feeling at certain abandoned buildings really give off an energy, like malls, movie theaters, specifically malls for me, because when I'm in there, there's just a feeling of nostalgia and the energy of people and the crowd. You just almost feel like there's still people there. It's like if walls could talk, you know what I mean? It's like if walls could talk, what would they say?
Another good example, if walls can talk, exactly.
All those entertainment abandoned buildings, bowling alleys, movie theaters. I don't know. We relate to those good. So anytime we're in those buildings, the energy is just unmatched. It's crazy. It's
hard to explain to people who never go to these abandoned buildings. It's hard to try to tell them there's a feeling of something's going on here, but nothing. It's decaying.
Right. Because they're like, what the hell? Or they don't like we see beauty in abandonment.
Yep.
And a lot of people don't see beauty. They see neglect and ruins and all those different things. And we see beauty and we see like the history of it and the architectural pieces and the gems. And I mean, it's like, a perfect example is the Colosseum, in Rome. Like that is a ruin and people come from all over the world to flock to see this. I compare that. And a lot of times when I do presentations or interviews, I say that and then people go, oh yeah, I guess you're right. In a sense that makes sense to people.
Yep.
Yep. And it's no different than what we do.
Right.
Just mini Colosseums, little things, different bandos in every town.
Yeah.
I was going through the comments on the documentary, and someone had something very interesting on there, and it kind of clicked for me as well when I was watching. It's a little personal, but when I was listening to your story about the heroin and everything, it's almost as if when you were at this building shooting up heroin, you discovered something else that was exciting for you that led you to drop shooting up the heroin to get that dope, those dopamine levels up. Is that what it was?
Yeah, somebody said that on the comments. A couple people said that, and one guy put it in a way that I even comment back. I was like, dude, that was well said. Like, it basically, I was able to kind of, I don't want to say trade one addiction for another, but it did become that eventually. I needed something in my life that was positive, that was something that would help me to focus on it, something to get out and do, and something where I could spend time and energy doing it. Because when I got clean, I was going to school, but like I didn't have a whole lot to do, and I was feeling like I needed something. I was feeling empty, and like I needed something to fill my void that was left from heroin.
Wow.
When we stop using drugs, we have a big void that's left. And a lot of people try to fill that with sex, drinking, whatever it is. I was like urban exploring. That was what started. And when I got into it, it started to manifest as an addiction and has become an addiction. And it's caused me lots of problems in my life. Urban exploring has, I've had legal issues. I've had relationship issues. I've had all that because of urban exploring. Money issues, financial issues, because I get so obsessive about it.
Yeah.
It is extremely addicting, and it's crazy. It's a crazy hobby.
I think, and we've been to Detroit like 3 or 4 times.
I've been more than you.
Yeah, he's been there a couple more than me. Detroit has such a great energy to it for exploring because I don't know what the population of Detroit is right now, but I know it used to be, if not double of what it was. I can't tell exactly. So there used to be a lot going on. 2 million?
Yeah. So that's right. There used to be 2 million people here, right? And now there's like 700,000. So you lost over 1 million, almost 1.5 million people left the city of Detroit.
Wow.
So that's why you have Gratiot Avenue or Grand River at 8 lanes wide when really there's not very many cars on it anymore. Because it was built to the city itself, 144 square miles. You have all the abandoned schools in each neighborhood and churches in each neighborhood, community center in each neighborhood. Everything is abandoned because when the people left the city of Detroit for the suburbs or for other states or for other areas, I always say this, they couldn't get up and take their school or their church with them.
Yep.
So they left them, and then the property value started to decline. And, obviously people started breaking in and stealing, and that's how it all just went downhill, and that's why and there was so much of it,
Yep. Now you're from Detroit, Bob? Are you a lifelong Detroiter?
Well, I was born right outside of Detroit. So
okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So when you grew up, how bad was Detroit compared to it is now?
Yeah. So it was really, really rough in the 80s. Like Detroit was dude, this is a funny story. Oh my God. I was just talking, my boy hit me up because he saw the documentary, right? This dude, I haven't talked to him forever.
Yep.
He's actually the one that got me to do heroin for the first time.
Oh, okay? Wow.
So he reached out to me. He did a 10-year prison bid and everything.
Wow.
So he reached out to me. I hadn't talked to him in forever. And he brought up this fact that I had completely forgotten about this. So growing up, Detroit was so scary for us that we'd go to the games, Tigers games, Lions games, Red Wing games, or the Michigan State Fair or something like that, Belle Isle Zoo as a kid. But we never would go into the neighborhoods. We were just there for a specific reason, went for that reason, and then got the hell out of there.
Yeah.
And there was always stories from my family members or friends of people talking about they come out and their car's been broken into or their car's on cinder blocks and all this stuff. So
wow.
I literally was so scared to go to Detroit that the first time this is so crazy, you guys. I copped heroin for the first time with my boy Josh, right? He drove my car. I told him, okay, let's go. I'll go with you. I was going through a heartbreak at the time, so I told him I'll do it. It was a stupid decision. I had never done it before, but I said, let's do it. I'm ready to go. So he was already a heroin addict before that. So I went to him when heartbreak and we went and used. So we get to Detroit. I hadn't been into Detroit in years at that time. I literally, no joke, had a winter hat on, pulled the hat down over my eyes and basically hid my eye. I didn't even want to look. I had him drive my car because I was so scared that we were going to get jumped, robbed, shot,
Oh my
any of
gosh.
that cop and
Damn.
drugs in Detroit in the hood. I didn't even look. I remember he pulled up and got out of the car to go meet I didn't even look. I just had the hat on and I'm just sitting in the passenger seat, just not even looking around at all.
Holy.
I was that scared to even be in that environment. And then obviously as the heroin addiction progressed, next thing I know, I'm walking barefoot down Livernois. But
Oh my gosh.
The thing is I definitely remember that. He brought that up when I talked to him the other day. And I was like, holy shit, I forgot all about that.
That's crazy.
And now here I am. That was in 2003.
Wow.
2003. Yeah.
So what
I was 21 years old.
21 at that time. What has changed in Detroit since then that if you've seen it either get better, worse in certain areas, what's happening in Detroit right now?
Basically, the only thing that's really happened is they did manage to recoup a lot of losses and reestablish the big three in the auto industry. And they also did they came out of bankruptcy, which was huge. But back in those days, the neighborhoods now are pretty similar to what they were back then.
Really?
Some of the neighborhoods, not all of them, but some of them. Like the Lower East Side is still the worst area in Detroit, in my opinion.
Wow.
You still have Highland Park, that's horrible. And you still have like Northwest Detroit and even Southwest. But they focused, when you hear Detroit's coming back and all that stuff.
Downtown.
Yeah, it's all downtown or like New Center. It's basically like Woodward Ave, Grand River, some of it, and Gratiot, some of it. You know, it's like the main arteries get some love and attention, but not the neighborhoods.
So okay, let's get some common misconceptions about Detroit out of the way because you're from Detroit. 8 Mile. Everyone thinks 8 Mile bad, Eminem, whatever. How bad's 8 Mile?
Not bad. Not bad.
So it's a big movie.
Anytime we go on a road trip to Detroit, we bring like a new buddy. He's like, we gotta go to 8 Mile. We gotta go. I'm like, hey, chill out. We've driven down it before. It's nothing crazy.
It's just dispensaries now, right? Isn't it all dispensaries now?
It's a strip clubs, dispensaries. Yeah, it's mostly strip clubs and dispensaries and liquor stores.
So they're capitalizing on that for sure.
Yeah, exactly. And one side of the road is Detroit, and then the other side is Warren or Centerline or whatever. So, yeah. But the Detroit side though is still it can be rough, but it's 8 Mile is patrolled by cops all day long. So 8 Mile itself is not hood at all, really. But once you cross over 8 Mile and get over towards 7 Mile, then yeah, you're going to run into some trouble over there, and you're definitely going to see some stuff. Yeah.
So what are the bandos like now? Are they getting stricter, like security-wise in Detroit? Are they cracking down like the police compared to when you first started? Kind of talk about that, because you talked about in the documentary how you had to avoid the Detroit school police all the time.
Yeah. So, those assholes, man, they made my life hell for a long time. But literally I had it coming. I can't say that they were doing their job. My job is to get in the building and get out and get away. And their job is to catch me. So obviously I didn't do that good of a job. But I did actually have quite a few run-ins and ended up figuring out a good system. But at the Detroit Public Schools, at that time literally had not done any measures when I first started exploring. That's why Jane Cooper and Joy Middle School and Brewer and all those things, that's why they did the article about the scrappers. And that's why I say in the documentary, they probably did these security measures because of those articles. It got a lot of attention, and people were like, what's wrong with Detroit Public Schools? Why aren't they securing their buildings?
Yeah.
So after that happened, the school system, the abandoned schools were one of the first buildings to actually get security measures put into place.
Wow.
And the first thing they did was try to put metal VPS sheets on it, and they're like big metal sheets that go over all the doors and the windows, and they're fastened from the inside, so you can't use tools to get them off and things like that.
Like dog doors.
Yeah, the dog doors.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Except about 5 times as much.
Wow.
Dog doors are cheap.
Yeah.
They spend so much money locking up abandoned buildings. It's unbelievable.
Yeah. And Detroit Public Schools learned a valuable lesson. They spent millions in the VPS system and the video fight system, and none of it worked.
Wow.
It worked for a period of time. Like they had the VPS, right? And that kept people out for a while. But then the scrappers caught on to how to remove them. So next thing you knew, the schools were getting broken into. The scrappers would literally get into the school, steal all the stuff, and then they'd steal the VPS and scrap the VPS.
Really?
Yeah. That's the craziest
crazy
thing. That's why you go to the schools that had VPS and you see all the windows and doors are gone, and so is all the VPS.
That's unbelievable.
They literally take it to a black market scrapyard, which we have tons in Detroit.
Yep.
And they get money for it. It's metal.
What about the video cameras? How do they?
That was the second measure.
Yep.
After they realized that VPS didn't work, and especially how expensive it was, they figured out there was a cheaper alternative, which was the video-fied systems, which were little motion sensor cameras that were like hidden in the hallways and up in the corners in schools. And they were so small, you'd really have to know what you were looking for to see it.
Yeah.
And that would be, it would record, it would motion sensor. So it was a motion sensor. And as soon as it sensed motion, it would record. And it record like 5-second clips and send it to the police officers' phones.
Really?
So they could actually see the who's in there, what they look like, and everything.
That's the worst.
So that was a measure for a while, and that busted a lot of people. In fact, there's a big article I found a few years back about how Detroit was like, everyone was in awe of Videofied because they showed videos of actual scrappers getting arrested and everything.
Wow.
Unfortunately, these scrappers, man, they are genius. They figured out how to dismantle the cameras, dismantle the whole system.
Really?
They found out that if you knocked out the motherboard, which Detroit Public Schools always put in the janitor closet. So they figured that out, and they would just knock out the motherboard. And then none of the cameras would work.
Did you wait for the scrappers to go in then before you went, or did you figure out a different way to get through? I'm trying to remember the documentary.
You got caught quite a few times by them, didn't you, Bob?
Oh, we're losing them.
Oh,
we gotcha.
I couldn't hear you.
Okay. He was saying you got caught by the Detroit Public School Police.
Video motion sensor a few times, correct?
Like a dozen times. Yeah.
Wow.
Dang.
How does that work then? You're there and they just show up, or do you try to hide, or do you run?
It was crazy because I kept getting caught, right? And the first time I got caught, I was with my wife, and dude, we were at Bernie Elementary School. I'll never forget it. And the cops, all of a sudden, we saw flashlights coming in the hallway, and I'm going, how the hell did they know that we got in there? I swear nobody saw us and all that stuff. And then they came and told us, that we had to go. And then they told my wife that they yelled at me for bringing her. What are you doing? Don't you know she could be raped in these buildings? And then she never stepped foot in another abandoned building after that.
Yeah. Oh.
So the Detroit police officer basically scared my partner away from me.
Yep.
But so I'm like, okay, well, maybe they just checked on it and they found us. Next time I get caught, I think it was at Sampson. And then I got caught at Longfellow. And then I got, I just kept getting. So finally, I actually said to them when I got caught at Redford High School, I said, how did you know that I was in here? Because I knew at Redford, nobody saw me.
Yeah.
There was a cut in an alleyway in a back where nobody could see you. So I'm like, there's no way.
Yeah.
So he said, his response to me was, it's a secret. And I was like, oh, ha, ha, ha. And he's like, no, man, we got motion sensor cameras in there.
Oh.
Holy shit. Because at that time, I just thought it was VPS.
Yeah. Yep.
And I would wait for a scrapper to remove a VPS panel. And then I'd go in.
Yeah, that's crazy.
So at that time, I knew. So then I was like, okay, I wanted to do all these schools because I'm obsessive, right? And I want to do them all. I can't do just one or two. I got to do them all.
Yep.
Got to check them all off the list.
I literally found blueprints on the for sale sign. DPS used to have a site back then. They don't have it anymore, but it used to have blueprints of all the schools.
Oh, wow.
So I had blueprints of the schools, and I would say, okay, I'm going to go hit the gym in the odd. I know exactly where it's at. I'm going to go do that. I'm going to give myself 5 minutes. I'm going to get the hell out. And then I'm going to come back next week and hit the library and the biology room or whatever it was,
That's crazy.
So, and then I'd give myself another time to hit the murals in the hallways and shit like that.
Yep.
And I got hit a few times, and I would try to I'd time it like 5 minutes, and then I'd be out. But I got hit a few times after that. I got busted, I think 12 times by Detroit Public Schools police, but I only got arrested 6 or 7 times.
You're talking
Out
like
of those
jail
12.
time for doing this?
Yeah, so then that's what eventually happened was the last time I got caught, which was 2011 or 2012, I think. I was at Grant Elementary School, like I say in the documentary, and we knew ahead of time. Zach and I, my boy Zach was with me. We knew ahead of time. I mean, Zach was with me through all these. He was my main guy at the time. After I lost my wife, you know, to the cops saying that she could be raped, she was like, I ain't ever going in another abandoned building again.
It's understandable.
Yeah. So I couldn't blame her. So I went with my boy Zach. We started at it, and then we said 5 minutes in and out. Well, we did it 5 minutes, but they were there. They were there quick.
Holy.
And they were waiting for us as soon as we came out of that. And the worst thing is all VPS'd up. There was one missing VPS in the back. And they tried to say that we broke in. And this is 10 years ago. And I still tell you guys right now, sitting here today, we did not break that. It was wide open, really.
Yep.
And we went in. They came and got it. They threw us in jail. We spent like 2 days in jail.
No way.
Yeah, dude, it was fucked. And then they locked us in. Oh, am I allowed to say that?
You can say whatever you want. Yeah,
yeah.
you can swear. Yeah, of course.
It was like the worst because what they did was they hit us with felony B&E.
Really?
What?
Yeah, and I'm like, well, give me a lawyer. I used my phone call to call my wife, be like, fuck, dude, help me. But dude, they tried to hit us with felony B&E. So that means you're not going to make bail because you have to go to see a judge. And not only that, but you're going to be in single man lockup, felony holding. So you're not going to be in the bullpen. You're going to be back in the isolation cells.
Yeah.
Thank God Zach and I were in cells across from each other.
Wow.
So we could talk to each other and keep each other company and not go crazy,
Yeah.
I've done jail time. I was an addict, so I did lots of jail time. Not prison, but jail. So, but I can tell you, going to jail clean sucks.
Really?
And when I'm an addict, I don't give a shit. But when I'm clean, I don't. I had school. I missed class that night. I had class that night. We got caught.
Really?
I was in college at the time.
Wow.
Dang.
That brings me to the next question. Do you think the fines and charges for urban exploring are too harsh? Or do you think that when you do this stuff, you should know the consequences and you should know that you can face felony charges?
I think a felony is very, very. I think that's too much.
Yeah,
right.
I think that a fine is reasonable.
I don't agree with jail time for this. I think a fine.
No.
Yeah, jail time's crazy. That's for
ridiculous.
Yeah,
especially if you're not breaking and entering.
Exactly.
Right.
Maybe if you get caught breaking something or breaking in, then
totally different ball game.
Exactly.
Then maybe that's maybe that's the consequence. But if there's no sign, if there's no proof that you broken in or anything like that, the worst case thing you should get is a fine.
Exactly.
In a lot of states, they're gonna hit you with a felony if it's a construction site or if they're working on it. Yeah.
Yeah. I know some states go very hard on certain abandoned locations, government property, federal property, whatever, like prisons and stuff.
Yeah.
I know they go really hard. We know people who've gone to jail for federal property trespassing and, thousands of dollars of fines, car towed, bad stuff. Like it's just, we're going into abandoned buildings. We're not killing people. Like it's crazy that they
and things that just the way that it's come full circle. I was in Massachusetts. I did a podcast interview with Van and Greg on chasing vandals. I told him, I got busted in Massachusetts, and the cop said, "I know exactly what you're doing." He said, "You're traveling across the country and you're breaking into abandoned buildings to take photos and videos." And I said, "No, we're not. I'm not no urban explorer. I don't even know what that is. What's urban exploring? I just came to this observatory to take a photo, I don't know what you're talking about." He was like, "Bullshit."
Wow.
He's like, "I know what you're doing." He pulled out me and Mike Moy. He's like pulling our bags out. He's like, "Dude, I know exactly what you're doing."
Wow.
And he's like, "We busted people here. We were the second person to get busted there that day, and they had busted somebody the day before." So
unbelievable.
The owner ended up putting up trail cams.
Oh,
so
those will get you.
Trouble, but because the only reason we didn't get in trouble is because they came so quick before we even got in.
Yep.
So
well,
it really saved us. But he knew the East Coast. It's so saturated with explorers.
Yep.
And so is Chicago.
Anywhere, I mean, anywhere really, because TikTok and Snapchat have made it so that if you go to an abandoned place and then all these kids go, they're not even real, I don't want to say a real explorer or whatever, but they're not in it for that. They're in it for the views or TikTok, whatever.
Exactly.
And then, it's ruined so many good locations because all these random high school kids are going and getting in trouble, getting hurt, whatever.
Yeah. And it comes back on us.
It does, yeah, which sucks because we're all trying to go and, get our pictures and get our cool, we're trying to show the history of the location or whatever it might be, and then you got people that are going dancing on this roller coaster, doing a little TikTok dance, and then falling off the roller coaster and getting the police called, and it sucks.
It's like I saw a post on Instagram recently where there was like 10 dudes inside Linwood Mansion. I'm like, what the? Like I like some of those people, and some of those people are cool. I'm cool with them, but like, use your head. Like,
yeah.
Why are you exploring in a group? They're asking for trouble.
Linwood Hall? Are you talking Linwood, the one you went to?
Yeah, mansion outside of. Yeah.
Colin's got a hell of a story. They don't like people. Yeah. They don't like taking pictures. They don't like people taking pictures in there. Apparently.
I know, dude. I got caught there too.
Did you?
Really?
Yeah.
We tried getting in, and then they got the dogs there or whatever.
Yeah.
And so we were coming back later to recheck it out because we thought the caretaker is coming, and then he's out there. He doesn't speak English. It's a long story.
Chinese guy, yeah.
He gave us the full out tour, but wouldn't let us get our cameras out. I'm just happy I got to see the place. It's incredible.
Wow.
No camera. He freaked
he wouldn't
out.
Let you take photos?
No pictures.
He freaked out on one of my buddies from Detroit, actually.
Wow.
Yeah, it was crazy.
Last time I got caught by him, he took a picture of me and Mike on his cell phone. He said, "I'll remember you."
Yeah, he was
funny.
very concerned that we had been there before, and he's like, I recognize you. Or
he said that to me too.
Yeah, I'm like,
that must be his thing. I recognize you. That must be his thing.
I'm like, dude, I'm from Minnesota. Like, I don't make it out here very much.
That's what I said. I said I'm from Detroit, man. Well, actually, I'd already done it. I'd already done it. So when I got caught, I was like, what? I was just trying to get Mike in there because he had never been.
Yeah,
it's incredible. I'm just happy I got to see the whole place.
Yeah, it's a great place.
Cool place.
But it's like that's the type of stuff, the recklessness, doesn't really look good for us. And like people like Drifter, that get caught, and it sucks what's happening with him. It's terrible.
Yeah.
But it's gonna see how that's gonna come back on all of us, Like I feel bad for him, and I hate that he's going through that, man. I mean, he's a good dude, but that's so bad for us because then we're gonna get hit with that shit too.
Yeah, everyone's got to be careful, and I think everyone makes mistakes and does stuff that they regret or whatever. But as long as you somehow avoid getting caught, it might be the best way to put it or whatever.
Yeah. They've definitely taken the Drifter situation way too far. Though.
Oh my God, it's ridiculous.
Yeah, it's nuts.
They're trying to make him a poster child so that people know, we're not messing around. Don't be doing this stuff. And here's what happens, and here's what we can do to you. We'll end your life like that. He could be in some serious trouble.
I know.
Which is so horrible. Yeah.
He doesn't deserve any of that.
No.
Great guy.
God, yeah, that's what I mean. It's like, dude, come on, man.
Yeah.
Let that dude go, man.
Yeah. For real. I wanted to ask you though, Bob, when did you go from exploring Detroit and then you're like, I need to go see the rest of the country because there's so much other cool stuff out there? When did you do that? Start to make that decision?
My first road trip was probably to Chicago. Actually, it was. I'm pretty sure it was Chicago. And 2000 and that would have been 2011.
Oh wow.
2011. And I hit some stuff that trip that isn't even there. I hit Michael Reese Hospital.
I've never heard of that.
I've never heard of that one. No.
It's been gone for years.
Wow. Did you do was Edgewater or Cook County Hospital, any of those there?
Yep, I did Edgewater, Cook County.
Those are both renovated now. It's crazy how much they're renovating in Chicago.
I did Cuneo Hospital in Chicago. Michael Reese, Edgewater, Cook County. I did Sacred Heart. I did
Sacred Heart, yeah.
Ravenswood.
Been in Ravenswood, yep.
Dude, I've done I did Joliet VA. I did Joliet VA. I did a lot of Chicago stuff. I did probably St. Boniface in 2011.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
So then did you just start like you're like, I need to go around the whole because you've been. It seems like you've been all over the place. Like, have you been?
Have you hit every state, Bob? I've been meaning to ask you that for a long time. Have you done all 50 states?
Close.
Really?
There's still a few I need to do. Like, I need to go. Mostly, I haven't done a lot of the like Washington, Oregon, Idaho, Montana, that area.
Have you been to Minnesota for exploring it all?
Yeah, I have.
No,
Really?
But it wasn't. Can't even count it really because it was a drive through and I didn't really hit anything. So I got to come for locations.
There's not a
For
lot of
sure.
abandoned. There's not a lot of abandoned stuff here. It's
I know
a lot
I
of
know.
underground stuff.
But there's still stuff there. And
There is, yeah.
There is, yeah.
So I definitely need to actually come out and spend like actually destination like the Twin Cities and Fergus Falls and shit. Like I really need to do that. That's something I wanted to do this year is actually come to Minnesota. It's on my list.
Wow.
Hit us up.
Yeah, I was gonna say, let us know. That'd be awesome to meet up with you.
Yeah.
I was gonna ask because your Instagram has some extremely unique locations that doesn't seem like a lot of other people go to. How are you picking what is worth getting in trouble for? Are you just like hitting everything? Like when do you decide this is going to be worth, checking out?
I think that for years my whole philosophy was like do as much as I can and try to get into everything. And because you never know what will be good. Especially like never judge a book by its cover type thing. Like there was this real quickly, there was a brick building in Detroit on the west side, right? I'd driven by it so many times. Barely read the ghost sign on it, and it said, just barely, it said DS. And it looked like there was a missing letter. I said, there's something before that D. So it was something DS. I said, I bet you that's DDS, which is a dental office.
Oh.
Small brick building. You would never know anything.
Everything's in there.
Bro, sick as hell. 3 or 4 exam rooms, all old school retro, all the moldings with the teeth, everything, chairs.
Really?
Everything.
Wow.
And I would have never, had I not seen that, I would have never tried it. So you just never know like what. So I had that philosophy for years. I'd travel around the cities. And my whole thing was, I never really liked to reach out to people when I would travel to their cities. In Instagram, it's like people travel and they hit up locals and they get together. I was never one to do that. I always did my own thing with my crew. And we would go to these cities and sometimes do shit in the other people's cities that they didn't even know about.
Wow.
So a lot of that took place in those years. Today, things are a lot different. I definitely don't take the risks that I used to. I will try as hard as I can to try to find a way in without damaging property. Which is why I had to master other ways and other skills and things like that. Because that's a difference between going to jail and not going to jail.
Yep.
I mean, 9 times out of 10, the cop will let you go if you don't break in.
Exactly. Yeah.
So so if like I know about a spot ahead of a time and I know that it's good and I can't, and I like, if I can't get in, I might make an extra effort. But it all depends on the location and how I'm feeling and how my vibe is. Because like, literally, I think during the pandemic, I actually finally took a weekend. Dude, I went 10 years without taking a weekend off from exploring. I explored once a week for probably 10 years. I was out every weekend, just nonstop, dude.
Wow.
Every weekend, nonstop. And if I missed a weekend, I would go out during the week after work.
Are you sitting on a lot of like unreleased stuff then? I can't even imagine what you have. Like,
he's only got like 100
I know
posts.
you don't even have that
something.
much on Instagram. It's like
I have like terabytes and terabytes and terabytes, dude. Like Fran is like, if I wanted to look through anybody's photos, it'd be yours because I have so much going all the way back, and from all over the country. And of course, I have more stuff from like Ohio, Indiana, Chicago than I do California. But, I do have all those. And it's, dude, my iPhone, just crazy, dude. I go through my iPhone, you scroll through it. It goes back to 2017, I think. All it is abandoned buildings and my cats.
Oh,
My cats and abandoned
wha-
buildings.
I was gonna say, yeah, I see your cats all the time
Yeah.
on your Instagram
Those are my
story.
babies.
Here's the thing though. I go on your Instagram and it's like crazy location, crazy location, crazy location, crazy location. Every time I'm on there, I'm like, I want to go there. I want to go there.
It's
I want
on
to go there.
Sunday after your full weekend of exploring, then you post them all.
It's like he's dropping all this stuff, and we're never gonna get to see the actual. Like you just post your Instagram videos. It's like I want to go there so bad.
The funny thing is I'm like 6 months behind. My stories are like 6 months. I'm 6 months behind on my stories because I just keep going and getting more shit.
Oh,
I can't even keep up with it.
How many abandoned buildings do you think you've been to? Like thousands? Like what? Can you put a number on it?
Dude, man, I would have to say 100. I would have to probably say probably 100,000 maybe.
Wow.
Dude, it's crazy. Especially if I think about my early days in Detroit. I was going in everything, whether it was blown out, burn out, it didn't matter. Like back then I was doing warehouses, industrial, anything.
Unbelievable. Unbelievable. That is insane. Are you ever planning on releasing these huge photo dumps of these huge terabytes of data? Are you ever going to do anything?
Yeah. Now I am. I literally didn't know what I was going to do with them, and I had no plans with it. I have GoPro footage of shit I don't even use. So Fran, you know him and I, he's like my best friend. He's been working with me on some stuff. We're going to try to do a book and try to get another website up and a better website up and things like that. So yeah, there's some work, some projects that are kind of being worked on right now.
Oh my, that's going to be, yeah, you need to. I mean, you're sitting on some crazy stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Like everybody in the community would love to see everything you've gone to, you know, because it seems like people nowadays, a spot becomes popular, then everybody goes, and then the vandals come in, graffiti artists come in, then it gets destroyed, then it gets locked up, and then you have like your wave 2 of people that come and check it out after it's destroyed, and then it gets torn down, and then there's the next spot. You know, it's like that's how things are nowadays. But those aren't the spots you're going to. It seems like you're finding stuff that no one else has been to. And everyone wants to know, where are these at? Where's this at? And it's like you have all this crazy stuff. So you need to have a book or another documentary or something because people would love that.
We're definitely doing another documentary.
And is it going to be everywhere? Is it going to be all your?
We're going to do one. We're talking about doing one on all over. We're talking about doing a part 2 on Detroit and then another one on Gary, Indiana.
Oh, hell yeah!
I've been exploring Gary since
You could probably do a Chicago one too, couldn't you?
Yeah, do a Chicago one. You know, I've been doing Chicago.
Lost him again.
Yep.
It's like every 20 minutes or I don't even know how often. We'll get him back here in a second, hopefully.
For actually exploring, that relates to exploring.
Oh, we lost it. There we go.
So this is.
Can you hear? Okay, so we lost it for a second.
Do you know where you went where I left off or no?
You were at I just said you could do a Chicago one too, and then you're like, okay, I've been exploring Chicago right there.
Yeah. So basically, yeah, because like I really feel like we could totally have like a lot of different cities, different areas, all sorts of different things. And I never really thought about it until Fran kind of pushed me in that direction. So I feel like it's time to actually do it. And it allows me the time and energy to do something that relates to exploring, where it's not actually risking my life, risking my career, risking my family, that type of thing. Because I'm getting older, you know, I'm 38 years old. And it's like, I feel like I don't want to, I have a career, you know, like, if YouTube does well and it blows up, then more power to me. Then I'll go out and hit it, you know. But right now, I got to be realistic, you know.
Yeah.
And I got to try to do something with these photos and these projects and these videos right now, because who's to say that I got to strike while the iron's hot, you know.
Yeah. Yeah.
Is bottom line. I got a lot of love off the documentary, got a lot of support off that, so I'm kind of gonna pigtail off that, I guess is what I should say.
Yeah.
I feel like the thing is, Fran really, without him, I don't know if I would be where I am. This guy, you guys know him, right? I mean,
we know of him. I don't think we've met him before.
I mean, I've talked to him quite a bit on Instagram, but we've never personally met up.
Would love to meet him though. Seems like a great guy.
Yeah, he's a great guy. Without him, I don't know if I would have ever done the documentary.
Wow.
He was the one that pushed me to do it.
Bob,
He,
how long have you known him for? Because he's been exploring since what, 2016 or something?
Yeah, he's been about
2015?
5 years in. Yeah, he's been about 5 years in. He's got a few years under his belt. He he didn't really rub me the right way.
Really?
When he first started on the scene, because I come from the old school mindset, where we don't post a lot of shit. We don't, this was before I was doing stories and all that shit, like I came from that mindset of we don't show shit, we don't post shit, we don't do that. Where Fran was going and, smoking weed in buildings and blowing the spots up, posting one after another, all this stuff. And his crew was reckless and shit. So I kind of avoided him. And I kind of it wasn't even Fran per se, it was more his crew. But then Fran reached out to me a couple times and I started talking to him. And then I was like, this guy seems like he's legit. Then Tasm met him. And then Tasm and Dom were like, dude, Fran's really cool. You should meet him. I was like, all right, I'll end up meeting him. And then he had plans to come out, and him and Becca had plans to come hang out with me like the weekend after she passed away. So they were supposed to come out that next weekend to see me, and she passed away. So after that, I said, dude, I felt so bad for him. I said, dude, I don't meet a lot of people, bro, but I'll meet you, man. Just come on out like you were going to do, and I'll take you out. And he came out by himself. Wow. And him and I spent a weekend in Detroit out here. And right after she died, so that was, 2-3 years ago. Yeah. And then, because it would be 3 years this summer. So 3 years ago. So we really, now he lives in Chicago. So I'm going to see him. I'm going to see him Saturday. So,
wow.
We hang out a lot. He comes here, I go there, all that.
And it's close. You guys are a lot closer than when he was in Philly, so yeah, that's sweet.
Exactly.
Well, I'm glad that he's doing all that, because, like I said, I think the stories need to be told and the pictures need to be out, because it's amazing, and we all love it, and I know that other people, obviously, 500K views, a lot of people are looking forward to
a lot of love and support there.
Oh, 100%.
No, it's been overwhelming, man. I've been getting reached out. People that I haven't seen since high school,
really?
Like that. It's just really taken off,
Wow, that's awesome.
Girlfriends hitting me up and wanting to sleep with me.
Gotta be careful how loud you say that. Bob, I want to get into some details here. Top locations that you've been to, because you've been to so many. Sure. Maybe it's hard to narrow down. What are some of your favorites? Maybe top 5.
So and I get that question a lot. And I always divide it into 2. Okay, so here's the thing. Top locations for me, if we're talking about like straight up Detroit style, right? So the top location for me would probably, there's 2 to 3. I have 2 to 3 that I would name. Cass Tech High School. Cass Tech will always be one of my favorites, simply because I lived a block away at that time. I lived in the Cass corridor. So I would literally get out of work, go home, and I'd spend hours on each floor. There was 8 floors, 3 gymnasiums, 2 swimming pools, and 2 auditoriums.
Crazy.
Unbelievable.
And it was pre-depression era, and everything was left, dude. The art room, the biology room, the library, everything.
Wow.
It was an incredible explore. That was demolished in 2011.
Oh.
So that one sticks out the most. But then there was Mark Twain Library, which was a library. It's on the documentary. Mm-hmm. A library, a historical library with marble fireplaces and columns and all the books left and all divided into sections and novels and history books. And oh my God, incredible. Plus there was rooms full of like magazines and just incredible stuff, man.
Everything left behind.
Yeah.
Unbelievable.
Library. Like you don't ever see that.
No, never.
Like you'll see a library in a school.
Yep.
But like not a library.
No. That's crazy. Yeah.
Yeah. So the train station, one of my all-time favorites, classics.
Yeah.
But the other one would definitely, I would have to say that dollar store, bro. That dollar store was fire.
I saw that. Unbelievable.
Dude, this dollar store, man, the dude came in, a disgruntled customer, got in a fight with an employee and came back in with gasoline and matches and started pouring gasoline all over and lit a match and ran out of the store.
Wow.
So Crazy. It burned up like this section of the store. And then everything had smoke damage. So they closed the store. Dude, I got in that one. I was the first one in there. It literally, is like I could have loaded a semi truck.
That's what I'm saying. Everything was in there. It's crazy.
It's nuts.
Dude, the movie DVDs, headphones, cell phones, cartons of cigarettes,
Yeah.
laundry detergent, food. I mean, just you name it, cleaning products.
You never see
saw
that
pictures.
ever. You never see that.
And I did a whole video of that place.
Wow.
And in fact, Fran and I we're going to release one about that place.
Really?
I did a whole video of it. I got video of it and everything.
Oh.
You guys are doing that new series too, like breaking down
Once
spots.
Abandoned.
Yep. I watched that first episode. That was good.
We'll put a link for that in the bio for sure, because people could check that out. Yeah, because that's awesome.
Doing more. Yep. That's going to be one of them, is the dollar store.
I can't wait for that one.
And Northville Psych, too. We're doing Northville Psych since that's being demolished and all that. DeHoco, Detroit, House of Corrections, Prison, that's going to be one. Muhlenberg, there's going to be a bunch of them.
Wow.
But then the other one worth mentioning is, I don't even know if I never posted it, but I did post it on a story. I don't know if you guys saw it, and it's also on my TikTok. It's the beauty supply store. Did you guys see that one?
I don't know if
wigs?
No, I don't think I saw that.
I feel like I've seen that.
Crazy. Dude, or what?
I had it on my story.
Yeah, I think I did see that at one point.
Dude, abandoned beauty supply store with all the mannequins and all the wigs and all the
everything.
It was creepy as hell, dude. But it was sick.
That's crazy. In Detroit? That was in Detroit?
Yeah, on 8 Mile.
Really?
Yeah.
Mannequins and bandos, I tell you. They're
scary.
Something else.
Dude, it was so crazy. Like, and then the way that, oh my God, you guys got to see. It's on TikTok. It's on my TikTok. So
we'll check that out for sure. What about bandos in across the country? Top bandos that you've been to?
One that I just did not that long ago, which is finally got to check off the list, would have been the Houston Astrodome.
Oh, you got in there?
Yeah.
Oh.
And the Astrodome was such a challenge.
Oh, I've heard it's insane.
That's why I can talk about it, because go ahead and try it if you want.
Yeah. That's like the expert level explorer. No one's going to pull that off.
Dude, listen, we had no intel, right? We had no intel. Fran and I. And we get there the night we want to hit it pre-dawn, right? Pre-dawn it.
Yep.
We get there at night, and it's like, dude, you don't realize it, but the Astrodome sits in a big parking lot in between two active venues.
Yeah.
There's like the new stadium, and then there's a exhibition center too.
Like the convention center's right there,
yes.
And then the new stadiums, the Cowboys stadium's right there, right?
Yep.
Or not the Cowboys,
No,
the
Texans.
Texans, yeah.
Texans.
Yep.
What the fuck, dude? This place is lit up like it's Christmas. It's like just
the lights are on in there?
Not in, but the parking lot.
Oh, okay. Yep.
And so we drive around and we realize there's literally security at every single gate. And then there's dudes on golf carts driving around. Then there's cops in the parking lot driving around. Yes, and we're there at like 11 or midnight the night before.
Yeah.
So we're like, okay, what do we do? We just went for, there was this one exit entrance where the security was at when we came there, and then when we came back around, I don't know if they went on break or whatever, they were gone. So we were like, let's go. So we ran through, and literally like this is all like a mile walk through this lit parking lot.
Yeah.
Lights, everyone can see you. You just feel like you're being watched. And we get up there, we have no idea what we're doing. We're trying stuff, nothing's working. And finally, Fran got a door to open. He ripped the door, and it didn't break it or anything. He just ripped it clean.
Yep.
And it popped open. And so we went in and realized pitch black in there.
I thought the lights were on in there still.
We thought so too, because we saw somebody do it. One of the only other people that have done it.
Them.
Posted it that it had lights on. So we're like, well, we'll do it. We got it. It was pitch black. I'm like, we can't do this. And how are you going to find the lights in there?
Yeah.
Right.
Not a light switch for the whole stadium.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So we put no, I think the door just stuck. It just stayed open. You didn't have to shut it. It would prop open.
Yep.
So we were like, all right, we're going to come back. We're going to pre-dawn it. We got this thing, right? So we come back. We come back early too. Go back at like 5:30 in the morning, right? It's not even light out.
Yeah.
The parking lot is just crawling with security, cops. Dude, it was way busier than it was at 11, 12.
Really?
I was like, are you kidding me? There's no way we're going to do this. That entrance that we went through, the security was sitting there. Security was everywhere.
Yeah.
It was like either we go for it or we call it. And I'm telling you, the only reason we went for it was because we had that door open. Knowing that door was open.
Yep.
Was why we decided we got to do it.
Mm-hmm.
So we climbed over one of the fences that's like really hard to climb. It's like really hard to climb because it bends out. So we didn't even do it because we tried and we realized that it would be hard to get. It'd be easier coming out, but you can't get over it going that way because they bend.
Oh, they go over.
So
Okay.
Like, all right. So I'm like, you can boost me up. I can boost you up. We can do this, And then I think Fran, he was like, wait, look. We like looked down below, like on the left side, and there was a gap at the bottom of the fence.
Oh, and you could squeeze under
there.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
So we squeeze under there. As soon as he goes first, I think I went first, then he came under, and then as soon as we did that, here comes a cop.
No.
I'm like, oh shit, dude. So we just act like I think I pulled my phone out, act like I was. Cop just circles around, he might have looked at us, but we didn't do anything.
Really?
So then we just keep on walking. Dude on a golf cart drives by. Like, I'm like, dude, they're going to come get it. Like, they're going to say something at some point. We finally get up to the Astrodome, and we hear a car coming. So we hide behind a trailer. There's like a trailer thing right there, right out front.
Yeah.
So we're hiding behind this trailer, and Fran like goes, I'm going to go peek. And he peeks out and he goes, oh shit. He goes, dude, it's a cop. Cop is like creeping around the Astrodome, just checking it.
Wow.
Not, I don't think he saw us checking the dome though. He went around the whole Astrodome.
Yep.
Checking it, all creeping. I thought for sure he saw us. So we're sitting behind this trailer and I'm like, I'm not moving. I'm going to wait 5 minutes because I'm going to make sure that if he saw us, that he might come back around.
Yeah.
So once we waited for 5 minutes and we saw that he didn't come back around, we went over the wall and down to the door.
Wow.
And when we got in, it was not light yet. We had to wait.
Yeah.
We got in and I have video of it where it's still dark. And we had to wait like maybe 20 minutes or so before the light started coming in. Once the light came in, it was like this dream, dude. It was incredible. Like the light was coming through the dome and all the seats are still there with the state of Texas logo on them.
No.
It's so
I've
sick.
seen that. It's incredible.
Pictures of the inside. Talk about the inside of that. What's left in there? Like the concession stands, the seats, the boot.
Bob, and I just want to say, like you saying that, when we went to the Silverdome back in, 2017, I think.
Yeah.
When we went there, we pre-donned it, and we got, as soon as the, light was on the seats and we were up top and it was the most surreal.
You're walking out through the chairs and
Yeah.
the sun's coming. It was that for us, the
That's what I'm saying.
Silverdome was like one of the biggest things we've hit or whatever. And we were, the stadiums are just unbelievable when they're abandoned.
Unbelievable.
Yeah.
And like you guys said, that Silverdome experience, how the light came in like that.
Yep.
That's kind of what was happening at the Astrodome, how the light came in. And unbelievable. The concourse is still there. Dude, they had like advertisements and stuff from it must have been from the 90s on the wall.
Wow.
There was like an advertisement of a radio station. It said like Houston Astros radio station.
Unreal.
All retro as hell. I think there's a picture I have of the advertisements are from the 90s on the billboard still.
Yeah.
Like a Budweiser one from the 90s. And then they had a bunch of, like I told you, the seats were still there.
Yep.
So they had the state of Texas logo on the seats.
They're like orange, red, yellow, right?
Yeah, exactly.
God, it's so iconic. It's unbelievable you got to see that. What's on the field right now? Is the field there or what is that? Is it cement or what is it on the field?
Oh, it's filled with stuff. I don't know if you can see it. So see all that stuff there?
Oh my. Though it looks like they're taking out a couple seats maybe. Oh wow.
So there's a few seats it's a circle bowl.
Yep.
So the seats are in half of it.
Wow.
And then the other half, for some reason, they removed the seats and put them down there. I don't know why.
I think they were red around the lower bowl, and then the top was the yellow, orange, red.
Yeah.
Is that kind of what it looked like?
Yeah, I'll show you. Actually, I got a nice one right here. And you can see the color difference. Let's see.
Oh,
Yeah,
my.
there's that logo.
Oh,
That is insane.
wow. How long were you guys in there for, Bob?
Oh man, we were probably in there for an hour and a half.
Wow.
No problems once inside.
No problem. Dude,
Really?
we left though. We left out a different way and we hop over the wall. And as soon as I hop over the wall, cop drives right by, dude. I'm like, this dude's gonna stop. And he just kept on going. I could not believe it. Fran and I thought we were done.
Did they not care? What are these cops doing?
I don't know. I don't know if it was just our luck.
God was on your side that day.
We should have gotten popped at least 2-3 times.
Sounds like it. Wow.
Yeah.
So is that up there then for one of your top locations, like just because of how crazy and like the things are left behind?
So historic. It's an
Historic.
incredible arena.
Yeah, I mean, that's definitely one of my, it's definitely one of my tops. I mean, if not my top that I've done as far as like a challenge goes, as far as getting all into it and planning it out and wanting it for so long, you know?
Yep.
Like
Yep.
I'm a stadium dude. Like I've hit a lot. I've probably hit more stadiums than most.
Yep.
Like I've hit some stadiums.
Well,
like, you know,
Detroit had what? The 4 stadiums were abandoned?
Yeah.
Unbelievable.
We had all 4 major sports. We had the Tiger Stadium, we had Joe Louis, the Silver Dome, and the Palace.
Yeah, we got caught at
Yeah.
Joe Louis. We got caught at Joe Louis by security.
Yeah.
But at that
Was it
point,
cool?
he was cool. He was a cool guy. At that point, though, the seats were gone and they were doing the asbestos removal.
Yeah.
So we missed the glory days. When were you? What year were you in there?
I was there right after it closed, like within 6 months of it closing, I got it.
Oh,
But it took me a minute because I went one time and I cut a chain. I don't do this a lot, but I cut a chain
yep.
and it was holding the doors, right?
Wow.
And I propped the door. Mike Moy and I. So I
Mhm.
propped the door and Mike Moy and I waited like an hour.
That's smart. Yeah, to come back.
Come back,
Yep.
door's fucking locked, bro.
Oh.
New chain already.
So they're watching it like a hawk.
So that time, that was right after it closed.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
So at that time, I was like, okay, I'm not doing it right now.
Yep.
I'm gonna wait about 6 months. So I waited about another 6 months,
Wow.
and then eventually went back and got it. So
Unbelievable.
I got it with the seats in it and all that stuff. But I did the Bradley Center in Milwaukee where the Bucks used to play.
Yeah.
Is that
did
still
that
there? Or
one.
was that torn down?
No, they tore that
Polished.
down.
Yeah, it's
what,
gone.
3 years ago?
Yeah, I think 2 years ago.
Yeah.
Wow.
I did the Meadowlands in New Jersey where the Nets and the Devils used to play.
Dang.
You know,
That's crazy.
I did RFK Stadium in Washington, D.C.
The Palace in Detroit too. You did that, right?
Yeah, I
Yeah.
did the Palace. Yep, I
Oh,
did
that was one we really wanted to hit. We missed that one though.
Man, so many, dude. I've hit several, man. I can't. And then, I mean, not to mention the NASCAR tracks and like all those
Yeah.
amazing stuff.
People are blown away the most when we tell them about abandoned stadiums because they're like, "There's no way a stadium could be abandoned." And then you show them a picture of the Pontiac Silverdome, and they can't believe the state that got into because that was just horrible. And it looked like when you got in it, the roof was still.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Partly.
the dome was still up.
When we went, it was completely gone, completely
All over the seats.
all over the seats. Yeah, it was all on the
Yeah,
ground.
yeah. Well, I better had gotten shit. I was local. I lived here.
Yeah.
We got to
got no
travel a
excuse.
few hours.
Yeah, we had to drive a
Yeah,
while.
exactly. You guys have a good excuse. I don't.
Yeah.
That's why I got it when it had, about half the dome was there still.
That's
Yeah.
unbelievable. What's the
was cool.
craziest thing that you've ever found in an abandoned building? Like the crazy dead bodies? Have you ever?
Yeah. There was, I can't 100% say it was, but I think it was. And we were in, my wife at the time, we were at the Eddystone downtown Detroit. And this was back in when we first started. So 2008.
Mm.
I went into this old hotel and the smell hit you right away. You know?
Oh,
Awful. Like it smelled like something I haven't smelled before, which would be decomp.
yeah.
And I didn't know. I was a little suspect. And I'm walking around and it's boarded up, so it's pitch black. There's
Yep.
only one way in and one way out through a window. And I dude, we didn't have flashlights. It was daytime.
Wow.
But we didn't. It was so dark in there because it was boarded that we didn't have flashlights. So I was using the flash of the camera to lead the way. And all of a sudden, I came across a pile of bloody blankets. That looked like there was a body underneath. So, and the smell. was from that.
Yep.
So as soon as I saw that, we literally booked it and called the authorities.
Wow.
And I never read anything. I don't know if anything ever came of it. I don't even know if it was about. It could have been a dog for all I know.
Wow.
Or an animal.
And that's something that people ask us all the time. What would you do if you came across a body and you're just like, I don't know. Like, I probably would run like you did and get out of there, because you don't know if the body was just dumped, if the guy's still there, the killer.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
And it's just an eerie feeling, like something you never want to experience.
I'm sure your stomach just drops and you're like, I got to get the hell out of here. Like, this is, you know.
That's what we did, and then we did call the authorities. You know, we had to. But
yeah.
Then, like did the funeral home Cantrell, and all the infant remains were in there. I didn't know they were there at the time, but yeah, they were there.
And did you do Memorial Mound in
Birmingham? Yeah.
And there were bodies found there too. Were you there right after that happened?
Afterwards, yeah.
I can't believe some of those stories.
Cool.
It is.
I think it's pretty wrecked now, but
no, they're turning it into I forgot, thrift store or something.
We were just there like the other day, and guy was there. They stripped it all out. The signs ripped apart. It's gone. It's done for. It's done.
Well, I can post away then, I guess.
Yeah, you can. You can post whatever you got, because it is. They have got all the trees torn down. You know, it's in like a wooded area.
Yeah,
it's all taken down. It's all open up. That's
weird, because that's a hood area too.
Yeah.
We went back in like 2018 and creepy vibes, and then we just drove back on our way back from New Orleans. We drove by it.
Yeah.
And guy was out there in his truck down there working on it. The green letters were still down there. Crazy.
That sign is awesome. Yeah, that is.
No, it is. Weird place.
Yeah, it is. What? Couple more questions, Bob. So, what is like the scariest thing that's happened to you while exploring? Like, you know, either that's hiding from the police or a homeless person attacking or coming at you, anything like that?
Definitely the scaredest I've been was when I went to jail. I mean, that was no joke. I mean, it still gives me nightmares thinking about that, you know.
I can only imagine in Detroit what it's like.
Jesus, yeah. And like, I mean, just everything going through my mind, you know, like, you don't want legal problems. Just is such a headache.
Yeah.
And it literally will stop. You know, it's like I will love doing this, and if I get in trouble, I got to stop. You know, so all those things, and then having to tell my wife, and like you know, all these things like really suck.
It really makes you rethink everything.
It does. Yeah.
Which sucks.
That was probably the worst experience, but scared wise, dude, I got locked into a building a couple times. You know, my wife and I got locked into a building once in Detroit in a old Gray Street iron foundry. They saw us go in, neighbors, and they literally came and sealed us in the building.
What?
Luckily, we got out a window, and we kind of really hurt ourselves by going out, because we had to bend a different way, and I think we had to break the window. You know, we had to.
Yeah.
And then I got locked in a the Cleveland Juvenile Detention Center. I don't know if you've seen it.
I don't know
Instagram.
I've been in there. If we're talking about the same one.
Yeah, it's like downtown.
Yep.
Yeah. So I got locked. I said, don't shut and it shut.
Like the jail cell?
The door into the jail cell. So at the Cleveland Juvenile Center, they're modern cells, so they're not bars. So when the door shut, I said to my friend, grab the door, and it shut. We were locked in the block.
No.
Yeah.
What do you do?
So luckily, I was able to finagle the guard shack door open.
Oh.
And then the guard shack led to the main hallway. Scared me to death.
Yeah.
We were leaving.
It took me a while.
Yeah.
We were leaving that place. We had the door open, and there's a cop right there. We slammed the door, book it down the one hall, down the next, down in the basement. It was.
Was that recent?
No, like a year ago.
I wonder if are they watching that place or something?
They must be now. I don't know. It's been a year. I never went back. Never.
Yeah, that was probably 2016, probably. When
it's been around a long time. It's pretty. It's in bag edition now.
Yep.
Wow.
And then Fran and I just did it recently at Alton State Hospital in Illinois. I said, Fran, I can't blame him. It was not his fault. He says he did it, but like, whatever, dude. We were both there. He shut the door, and I butter knifed the door open. It was easy, no damage, but the door locked, and there was no way to get out. So we were locked in a state hospital building with those barred windows. So like, we can't get out a window, can't get out a door. The only thing we could do is kick down the door.
Dang. I can't believe that they lock from the outside or whatever. Like, you can't get through them. Like,
Can't get out.
Unbelievable.
Because it's a state hospital, so patients can't just walk out.
True.
So the doors, they turn, but they don't open.
Yeah.
So we had to kick the door and break it. You know. And that took effort.
You had to get out, though. I mean, what are you gonna do? There's no other choice.
Scared.
Yeah.
And it's partially active, so there's people like on the other side in another building, like right there.
Wow.
So it was scary as shit.
We were just in a prison, and Ethan was talking about your guys' documentary. He's like, yeah, our buddy or this guy we know got locked in a cell.
Yeah, in the documentary, didn't someone get locked in a cell?
That was the survival crackers. Yeah.
Unbelievable. I couldn't imagine.
They did, and they got their ass beat for it. The cops came in, took their gear, and beat the shit out of them.
Beat the shit out of them?
Mm-hmm.
The cops attacked them?
Yep.
What? In Detroit? That's crazy. Like, is that how things used to be in Detroit? Like, there was so much corruption?
Yeah, for sure. Yeah.
How did you used to go out with them quite a bit then, Bob, or you just knew of them?
They're a big group, right?
Mm-hmm.
So there was like a dozen of them, maybe 12, 15 of them. So a few of them were really I was close with. Dave Paris, he was a good one. John Amish, Red Wagner, him and I talked. Johnny Boy, those dudes. I got a lot of respect for those dudes, But in the documentary, we got some backlash for the documentary because Fran put in a clip of them blowing stuff up. And then people were like, oh, I can't watch this because you're blowing stuff up. And I had to correct people like, no, that's not us blowing stuff up. That's actually us feeling that it was important to pay homage to the people that paved the way for us.
Yeah.
And by showing the clips of them. Mm-hmm. So then people were like, oh, okay, I get it,
Yeah.
But that's why that was in there, because those guys, without those guys, I wouldn't be where I am. I started urban exploring without them, but they were the ones that really introduced me to urban exploring and taught me. They were the ones that told me, don't post things, don't tell people locations, don't share spots, those types of things.
Yeah.
There's an old exploring group. I don't remember what year they started, but they're called Action Squad, based out of the Twin Cities here in Minnesota. And they had like a old blog website, whatever, of all their explorers and missions and their crew, and all of us like young people that got into it back in like 2015, 16, 17 looked up to them, and it was cool reading their stories. Most of them retired now, but
I was gonna say they're probably older, right?
Yeah.
They're all 30, 40, 50.
They're probably all friends with Higgins. Doesn't he know all them guys?
I think so. Yeah.
He's got deep Minnesota connections. I think.
Really?
Higgins does. Yeah, he's been going up there and doing the tunnels for a long time.
Oh, the tunnels are awesome. Yeah.
Yeah.
Mauser
so
Week.
He probably knows them dudes.
Yeah. Yep. Bob,
Ben Franklin.
Huh? Ben Franklin?
Boombox Ben Franklin. You know him, Higgins?
No, I don't.
Okay. His Instagram is Boombox Ben Franklin.
It sounds familiar, but maybe I've looked at the account. I'm not 100%
He's OG,
sure.
man. He doesn't explore much anymore, but
really?
He's the one that first told me about the tunnels in Minnesota and like how sick they are and like.
Yeah, there's like a big week dedicated to digging more.
Yeah, he goes to it every year.
Mauser Week.
Yep.
But been going for years.
Really? I have pictures here from your Instagram, and it's not like a location thing, but I just wanted to ask you about them because they're cool. Maybe they're all torn down so you can talk about them, but I'm going to go through them here. And Colin, you can pull them up on the screen. I'm going to have to show Bob so he knows which ones I'm talking about here.
Sure.
Let me see if I can pull these up. All right, so the first one here it looks to be maybe I don't even have to show you. Maybe you know exactly which one. It's like a sports. Is that hard to see?
No, I got it. That's the dollar store.
Yeah, that's the dollar store. Okay.
Was that not the dollar store?
So I thought this was like a sports store at first when I saw it, but you have all those pictures in there.
Everything's in there.
So they had a whole sporting section,
That is just unbelievable that they.
I know, dude. All the footballs and soccer balls and hula hoops.
Yeah, I can't. I've never seen anything like that before. And when you release that video, you have to let us know because I cannot wait to see that. I've been wanting you to release that forever, especially like all the swishers and cigarettes and all that stuff up there.
Dude, I literally took all the cartons of Newports.
Really?
I don't take stuff out of buildings, right?
Yep.
I took all the cartons of Newports and gave them out to the homeless people, my clients.
Really?
Yeah.
That's
I
awesome.
threw them at all my clients and shit because I deal with homeless drug abusers,
Oh, really?
Like, that's what I do as a day job. So I'm a therapist. So I help people find recovery because somebody helped me. So I give back now.
Wow. Well, I'm glad we put that in there.
Yeah, that's awesome.
That's that's really awesome.
So I gave it to all my clients and shit. And then I took a garbage bag and I filled up a garbage bag with Tide Pods.
Oh, yeah. Yep.
Threw it over my back like Santa Claus and took that shit home, dude.
Wow.
1,000 fucking Tide Pods and shit. I'm still doing laundry off that shit.
You should have. It'd be nice if they would have got that open up and given all the stuff in there, the food to the homeless, because there's so much stuff in there.
They cleaned it all out and reopened it.
Really? Wow.
Yeah,
I figured
everything away though.
Of course.
Because it was all smoke damage.
Yep.
What year was that, Bob?
2018.
Okay.
Here's the next one here. This is the radio station. Can you talk about that, or is that still?
No, that's good, man. It's pretty scrap, man.
I was gonna say it's still around, isn't it?
It's around, yeah.
Yeah.
It just doesn't. You wouldn't even notice that's the same. You wouldn't even know that's the same place.
That is unbelievable,
Literally
there with the board and everything. Like you never ever see that. That's unbelievable.
So here's the thing with that. That's a Detroit public school building.
Really?
They had a radio station and they owned a radio station and did broadcasting out of a radio station and taught people how to be broadcasters.
Oh, really?
So people in high school, students in high school would go over to this radio station to learn broadcasting and things.
You never hear of that anymore. I've never seen that in another school.
It was, I don't think they had done it in years, and they closed it down. And then they had the videofied cameras in there. So at the time I took that photo was a run-and gun. Because they literally would come. I was in there one time, probably the day I took that photo, I think, and the cops pulled in the parking lot because I had given myself 5 minutes.
Yep.
And I looked out the window and here they were. So I booked out the back door and got away. But yeah, that eventually the scrappers removed the camera system and then they were able to shoot it.
That's crazy.
It got trashed.
I love that picture.
The radio station on Lawton.
I love that picture.
I remember some of my buddies went to one of the schools there, and then that was right behind the school. It's
right behind Brady.
Yeah.
Yep.
Unreal. Yeah, that's a great one. I have the next one on here. I have the Pontiac Silverdome, and we kind of already touched on that. Just amazing though with the roof there. When did do you know when that actually came completely down by chance? Do you know when that would have been?
In 2017, it was all down, I think, by 2007. Because I first did it in 2015 or 16. I can look.
Was it hard to get in there when you went?
Dude, I had no idea how to do it. Nobody had done it before us, really.
Yep.
And like me and Dave Paris, he was one of the affiliates of the Survival Crackers. He and I would like explore a lot together at that time. He and I talked about going, but never did. And then one day we were like, you know what? It's early in the morning. Why don't we try to go for it? And when we went there was not a security guard in sight.
Really?
I couldn't believe it. So we walked up, like we just owned the place, walked up, and then there was a door open right there. And we went in.
Wow.
And that was the first time I went in there, and I couldn't believe it. And
everything was in there, right?
Yeah.
Broadcasters stuff and everything.
Oh.
We had these in the documentary. You'll see some of the photos that he shows there's these chairs they were like metal chairs with the Lions logo in it.
Oh, yep.
I wish I would have grabbed them so bad.
Oh yeah, and then they tore it down and wasted everything. Went to waste. Like it's horrible.
Oh, I'm off. So I just looked at my video from the Silverdome.
Oh wow.
So that was August of 2014.
14. So, wow.
Bob, could you play it one more time? I didn't switch the camera.
Yeah, you want to show that one more time? That is amazing. I love the Silverdome. That was such a cool place. Wow.
Unbelievable.
And when was that? 14?
2014.
Wow.
So I'm going to say the roof, I said 17 or 16. I'm going to say the roof was gone by 15.
It came down quick then. That's crazy.
Yeah, because when we were there, it was all over the seats.
Oh, yeah. It was destroyed.
And what year were you there?
2018?
17?
No, 17.
17.
2017.
So probably 15 or 16.
Yeah.
Easter Sunday morning.
Yeah, Easter Sunday we went.
Good day to do it.
Yeah,
Good day.
it is. The next one on here it's a Daily Mail. This is one of your first Instagram posts. The ultimate swap shop. Urban explorers find
Cadillac factory.
1 million worth of collectible sports cards inside an abandoned factory in Detroit. And you guys are on the boxes, which now I don't know when the last time you were there, but that's destroyed.
I haven't been there in forever. And I know it's destroyed, and I know they're going to demolish it soon too.
Really?
Yeah,
We
just read an article. That
we were just there a couple weeks ago, and they have the asbestos removal, the big sheets up, and
They do?
that's new. That was not there when we were
Told
there.
you.
Yeah,
Told
so
you, it's coming down. It's
really,
coming down.
because it's
gonna
full.
be down. It's going to be down this spring for sure.
Are they starting to do that in Detroit? They're just going to start tearing down buildings left and right.
I don't think so. Homes, yes. Abandoned houses, yes, but not the buildings. I think that's privately owned, and that's just an owner doing it. You know.
Really? Huh?
Yeah.
When was the last time you were in Gary, Bob? Because we were there a few weeks
They're
ago.
tearing everything
They're
down.
tearing the whole main block down.
They're going through downtown, like building to building to
Like,
building.
what the fuck? I was there in December, so yeah, I was like,
Where are they getting the money?
Yeah, where's the money coming
no
from?
idea. I'm like, why is this happening? You know? It's
Yeah.
crazy.
But about this, Bob, the playing cards or the sports cards, when you were there, was it like mint condition? Like they were really?
I still have Tigers team set, Detroit Tigers team sets from like the year they won the World Series in '84.
Oh.
They were still in the package.
Yep. We grabbed a
And
pack too of the hockey ones, but
Yeah.
that's literally all the baseball ones are gone.
Yeah,
I don't know
people
what
took
else was there, but it's just hockey now, which sucks.
So yeah, a
but-
guy contacted us from the Daily Mail, or he was from Vice magazine.
Oh, wow.
His name is Rock. He reached out to Dave Paris and I and said, hey, I saw your post. Either me or Dave Paris posted it on Facebook or social media at that time, and he reached out and said, I'd love to do a story on it. And we were like, yeah,
Wow.
for sure.
That's awesome.
And they were worth they were not worth $1 million, but they were worth a lot of money.
Uh-huh.
The top one that was Mark Grace rookie card was like $8 or $18 or something. But yeah,
Really?
They had a lot of cards in there that were worth something, but you would have to find somebody that would want them.
Oh, yeah.
Did
Yep.
you ever
I
hear anything from the owner then or anything? No.
Never heard anything from the owner.
Didn't the owner die, if I remember right? And that's why
Yeah,
it was
I think
all
he
left?
did. I
Yep.
think he did. Yep. he
Huh.
did.
Here's the next one here, Bob. I don't know what this is. It looks like a shooting. I saw that. I'm like, what is that? It looks like is that like Pablo Escobar on a big?
So,
What is that?
yeah, right. Or that one guy looks like Burt Reynolds.
Yeah, it does. What is that?
Those are styrofoam targets for police officers to shoot guns at.
Oh, okay.
It's an abandoned police station. I can't say where.
Yep.
Because,
Yep.
But it is actually now that is underwater because scrappers flooded the basement.
Really?
And that was in the basement, bro. Listen, there was fucking so much evidence down there. They had surveillance tapes of audio and video of all these drug busts and shit, dude.
Really?
Mike has a picture on his Instagram of there's this picture of all these mug shots on the floor, right?
Really?
And the mug shots, you can see the mug shots clear as day. And then on the mug shots, above the mug shots, there's a sign or a whiteboard, right? I'm trying to find a picture so I can show it. The whiteboard has divided into homicides.
Oh, was this in the
got, like-
documentary? Was this in the documentary?
No, completely different spot.
Oh,
Completely
wow.
different.
Unbelievable.
That's why I can't talk about this one in the doc because it's still there. So,
Yep. No, I totally
but,
get that.
Yeah, but dude, and then the worst thing is somebody wrote on a whiteboard, a little mini whiteboard in a marker, and it says, "To all the victims of the families of the homicides I did not solve, I deeply apologize. Politics and greed got in the way."
No way.
Really?
Yeah, dude.
Unbelievable.
It's the realest shit you've ever seen.
Yeah, that is unbelievable.
I'm gonna find it's in the play. But what happened was the scrappers went in there and eventually scrapped the basement, and the pipes bursted. And then the whole basement went underwater. So now all that shit's gone, including those targets, including the mug shots, including all that stuff.
Unbelievable.
Dang.
Was the power on when you were there? It kind of looks like the power's on.
Yeah, power was on.
Oh.
Here's that one. Here's the one of the
Oh, the wigs, yeah, from the wig shop.
Yep. Yeah, I feel like I've seen that.
That is crazy.
Yeah, dude. It's
Police stations are awesome. There was one in Chicago that had everything left behind. A really cool place, but not like this. I mean,
Bob's been to that one.
That
one's cool.
Yeah, this is like the gold mine. Like you find the gold mine spots here. That is unbelievable that you found that with the power on.
Dude, I know.
Crazy.
And there was in the one that I'm talking about, there was also jail cells and drugs, and there's a video. Like this is a video from in there, a crack pipe.
No.
And like bullets and ammunition.
Jesus.
Oh my gosh.
There's a bag of weed there.
That is, and they left all that. That's got to be a violation of something. They don't care. That is will that eventually come out someday when that gets torn down?
Yeah. Oh yeah, definitely. I mean, honestly, I could probably post it now. If somebody found it now, it
wouldn't be
cool.
Yeah.
It's not that basement though was what really made that place so special because of all the stuff that was down in that basement with all that surveillance footage and just all that crazy stuff, man. I mean, you just don't see that. Dude, oh my God, I'm so fucking unorganized. I wish I could find this shit for you. I got a picture of also in that same place. I have a picture of, dude, they had all the bulletproof vests and shit.
No way.
Really?
Yeah.
So this was like freshly abandoned when you went. Like this is like closed yesterday type shit.
No, it's been abandoned for a while.
Really?
Yeah. There was all they were thrown all over the place and shit. I mean, it was probably closed maybe 10 years or something.
Really?
Oh wait, dude, I just passed it, I think. Oh shit.
Got it?
Just saw it. Damn. I thought I did.
Do you know if that police station in Chicago is still there, Colin?
Yeah.
What's up with that?
I think it's destroyed. Yeah. You know how Chicago is. It's if you get in immediately, you're good, but after that, the graffiti artists and scrappers, it's done for. It's a lot like Detroit.
Yeah, it is. It is. You got to get to it at right in time. You know, or else, you know, if you get too late,
done for.
What it is. There's so many explorers in Chicago, you know.
Oh yeah,
there is a lot.
The community is really there's a great community in Chicago, but
there is.
They also work with the graffiti community, and I feel like the graffiti people, everyone talks to all the scrappers, and it's like once word gets out, a place can get stripped out real quick in Chicago.
Sure.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yep.
Absolutely right. That's one of my favorites. I love Chicago.
Yep.
It's crazy though, you know, like Chicago seems to have like all these, like every day I swear I get on Instagram and there's a new explorer.
Yep.
Like for whatever reason, Detroit doesn't have that. Like we never got this like huge influx of explorers.
Yep.
Oh, look.
Got it?
Oh man, can you read it?
Oh yeah. I am sorry. Well, you said what the victims and the families. I do not solve. I am deeply sorry. Unbelievable.
That is crazy. Yeah, I see all the mug
and those
shots.
are all the pictures. Yeah. Wow.
And then here's in the background. Here in the background is the homicide board up on the whiteboard.
Unreal. So like a cop wrote that before leaving.
Right.
Unreal.
And then this is the
hoping somebody would see it.
Yep. Well, it was a guilt thing. It was a guilt thing before he left. Yeah, he had to write that. Those are the kind of things when you find like a story in a place like that, and you know that there's an energy there, whether it's a good or bad energy. You could just feel that. You could feel the cop, and you could feel the guilt he probably felt when he wrote that in that location.
It was so real. Exactly. You could feel it, and you could pick up on that.
Yeah.
It's like that's why I said it was so emotional, because you could really feel like he meant that. You know, he meant that 100%.
Yeah.
So how can you not feel that, you know?
Unbelievable. That's one of the coolest things I've ever seen in an abandoned place, I think, when you show us that. That is unbelievable.
Dude, when I did 1300 Bobian, the jail, Detroit police headquarters downtown, that shit was insane too, bro. Said like homicide engraved in the fucking
everything left behind.
And like the jail, look at how grimy and decayed that
jail my gosh. Yeah, jails are awesome. Yeah. Jails are so cool.
Yeah.
You know?
Place was phenomenal.
Here's another one here, Bob. I got this is a mansion, and I think
that
is a great it looks like Clue, like out of the movie Clue, like a Victorian style mansion. Can you talk about that at all? You don't have to say where it is.
Yeah. I think it might have actually been Victorian. I think it was Victorian. That's in Massachusetts.
Wow.
It's Northborough or something like that. Northborough, Westborough, one of those cities in Mass. It was
What's the story with that? Is it like a bed and breakfast or something?
It was a mansion at one time. Then it was converted into a wedding venue.
Oh,
for, like, wedding venues and stuff like that.
Wow.
But then it eventually closed, and that's how. There's like statues upstairs and stuff. It's really, really sick.
It looks super clean, like unbelievable. With a fireplace.
It was clean, you know, so not a lot of decay or anything, but it was still really, really cool to experience that one.
I love old mansions. Like those are so cool.
Me too, and like the woodwork in there, and like the paintings and everything. Like you could see, it was just incredible stuff.
I've always wondered about this one, and again, you don't have to say where it is, but this right here,
I think it's in Detroit.
It's a top. It looks like a top spot. I've always wanted to go to a legit, like clean, abandoned strip club, and that right there is top notch. Can you talk about that at all?
What does it say on there on the pin for the geotag? Where it was?
Oh, I don't know. I just took a screenshot. I don't have the top part. I can look here.
I don't even remember if I did it. Because if I geotag something that's an actual city, it's actually, or state, it's actually that. I don't lie. I don't.
Oh, really? Really? Let's see.
I don't know if I did on that one.
Let me check what you did here, because I screenshotted just the picture off of that. You put on there Mississippi.
Yep.
Really? Wow.
Jackson, Mississippi.
That is really
Jackson, classic.
That is that when you got in, was the power on still?
Yep. So the Black Diamond Strip Club was closed a year prior. It had closed down for they were doing they got busted doing underage sex trafficking.
Jeez. Unbelievable.
So we read the article. Pongo, you know Pongo?
Yep, Pongo old boy.
Yeah.
Yep.
Him and I he read the article and found it and sent it to me. And then I went and, dude, there was caution tape on like all around it and stuff, like police sign that said like "Do not enter by police order" and everything. Yeah, dude.
Jackson, Mississippi.
I was scared.
That's a sketchy town right there. Jackson is very sketchy.
I've been many times. I've been three times, I think. Yeah.
We just released a video from Jackson of the hotel up on the hill with all the homeless people living in it. And we call it like the Nightmare Hotel. Like it's really stripped out, but we just wanted to go get a
bombed out.
Yeah. We just wanted to get
It's a sketchy place.
We saw
because all the people.
Yeah. We went at night.
Yeah.
We went at night, and it was terrifying. We didn't have.
I don't even think I'd do that.
We didn't have a knife or anything. Like we were terrified when we were there.
You guys are ballsy for that. I wouldn't have done it.
Here we go. All right, Bob. This one we've been here before, but we went way after you went. Abandoned the sex shop. And that place is destroyed now. But
it's all cleaned out now, isn't it?
Yeah, all cleaned out. You caught it though when it was in its
Perfect
prime.
timing,
Have you ever seen another abandoned sex shop before?
I did. There's one in Detroit that was. This is really weird. An abandoned doctor's office, but they set up one of the rooms with abandoned sex products and stuff.
What?
So this one room had like lubes and fragrances and gels and dildo and like, stuff like that. It was insane, dude. In a doctor's office.
That is weird.
Yeah, you get
I have videos from it. It was crazy.
You come in, you get your checkup, and then you leave with a dildo. That's how it goes.
It looked like the receptionist might have was running like a side business or something.
Wasn't making enough money. That is
crazy though. Yeah, I'd never seen that before.
That's awesome. I think that's all the ones I have on here. Those are some that I saw and they really caught my eye. Some really all your pictures though on Instagram. Honestly, they're top notch. Like I think you say you're not a photographer, but those pictures are great and they're iconic locations. And a lot of people don't have any idea or have never been to them before, so it even adds to it. You know.
That's true. Yep, exactly. Man, I tell you, I can't even. So many spots, man. I could talk for days. So you got to have me back and do a part 2. I guess.
We need a part 2. To finish it up here, though, Bob, I told you that we always have a question for our guests, the last one, and it is, if you could go back and tell your 21-year-old self one thing, what would it be? So what'd you come up with for us here? What would you tell your younger self?
So it's when I was 21, I was a full-blown heroin addict. So when I would tell myself now, actually, what I told myself back then, but a little bit different. I lived my life at that time and still today, as if there was like, I'm not sure I'm going to be here tomorrow. Like, I am going to live my life to the fullest, and I am going to do what I want to do while I'm here. A lot of that is very self-centered thinking, though. And I have a family now, and I have all this. I can't think like that all the time, but I do want to live my life to the fullest. Like, tomorrow's not promised to any of us, right?
Yep.
Like, none of us might be here. We could die in a car accident, in our sleep, whatever.
Yep.
So I would tell myself at 21, make sure whatever you do, enjoy your life don't do heroin, but
yeah.
Enjoy your life to the fullest without the use of heroin.
Wow.
Use your talent, use your gift, use those things to express your art form, express yourself, for you to stay in touch with reality, in touch with the world, and then it gives you an outlet. Those types of things, because it's healthy for us to have a hobby or an activity or an interest or something that allows us to focus on something and release our energy and express ourselves in an art form.
Wow.
And back then I didn't know that.
Yeah.
I didn't realize that was it was instrumental and a vital part of life. At that time, I didn't understand that. Now I understand that.
Wow.
That is exactly what life is all about.
That's awesome.
Living it and go into every situation hoping for the best, but expect the worst.
Yeah.
My dad used to tell me that.
I like that.
Out.
Yeah.
Always hope for the best, but expect the worst.
Yep. Then you're never let down.
Exactly, man.
Wow.
Then you don't got premeditated resentments.
Yeah. Wow. Well, I couldn't agree more with you there. That is some good advice. And your stories and your photos will live on here. And I know you got some unbelievable stuff you're working on with Fran. We're looking forward to that. I know everyone's looking forward to it. And I guarantee that it's going to do just as well as that documentary is doing, because
thank you.
To see that get 500K, I was really hoping that, everyone looks up to you, but I was, hoping that documentary would come to show that. And I think it is showing that everybody supports your work, loves what you're doing, looks up to you.
Big inspiration.
Huge inspiration to us for everything we've done. We've always looked up to you, Bob. So we really appreciate you for taking your time to come on our show and just talk to us young bucks here.
Thank you. Thanks, Ethan. Thanks, Colin. Seriously, you guys, I'll do it anytime. I had no problem. When you asked me, I was like, it's a pleasure, dude. No problem, man. I love you guys, man. You guys are awesome. You guys go hard. You guys hit shit. Sometimes I tend to favor certain people, people that I kind of get a good vibe from. You guys always had good vibes from you. I heard good things about y'all. So I was like, fuck it, dude. I'll hook y'all up, whatever.
Oh, wow. That means a lot.
Yeah, really appreciate that, Bob.
That means a lot, Bob. Well, thank you so much. We will put the link to your stuff on there, the documentary, the exploring series that you guys are doing. We're going to put that in there. We could put the TikTok, obviously, Instagram.
Obviously.
So everyone, go check Bob's stuff out. If you haven't heard of him, you're obviously under a rock, because Bob's one of the top guys out doing it. He's one of the realest to ever do it, as we might say. So, Bob, we got to thank you so much for coming on. And we need to do part 2, dive into some more deep stories in the future, because I know you got them. So
I do, and I'm getting ready to hit the road. About 7 days. I leave next week. I'm going down south, North Carolina, South Carolina, Florida, Georgia, Alabama.
Oh, awesome. So even more stories. They're always developing. So awesome. Well, thank you, Bob, so much.